So, what if we just give it associations with things that aren't scary and are like stupid, and like just associate with like logging companies a lot or something and see what happens?
But that's where it starts to fall apart, because when you try to consciously do that, it recognizes that you're, or well, more accurately, the way that this, I mean, I don't know if it's like a field encompassing the world or if it's just like something like gravity or the atmosphere or whatever, but whatever it is, when you're trying to consciously metagame it like that, it just refuses to work that way. Because there's a big difference.
What if we just like kidnap people who are from logging companies and then drop them in the forest?
I mean, then they would think we're probably eco-terrorists trying to make them starve. And also the forest would probably, like, just eat them. I mean, it wouldn't eat them, but it would probably just drop them into the roots and turn them into meat bags experiencing constant sensory overload for all time. So that wouldn't really work, is my point. That, like, do you know any logging companies in the vicinity that we could kidnap people from?
Not really, no. I mean, there probably have to be. But I assume if we just, did our research, went around.
Look, it's not... Us trying to consciously metagame it isn't something that's going to work, and if you kidnap somebody from a logging company and throw them into the middle of a forest, their first reaction isn't going to be, ooh, I can log this. It's going to be more along the lines of, oh god, what am I doing here? Why? How did I get here? And that's just going to feed back into the spooky forest part. Neither does how much it likes stuff like, say, the color orange, which you don't really see in forests naturally, aside from in maybe some flowers, or like...
Autumn.
Well, yeah, but then there's also, like, red and brown and whatnot. It's not orange alone.
But we're just sort of in the middle of red and brown.
And you know what? That is exactly the kind of logic that the forest would operate on. But then again, like... I mean, that is effectively great representation of the way that these things work. You got the stuff that makes sense on the surface, like... Can you stop interrupting me when I'm trying to exposit, Sunder?
What if you tried to explain a spooky supernatural forest, but God said...
I think that would be Zeus, specifically.
Depends on what you believe in.
I guess. I mean, realistically, with the way this shit works, there's probably, like, at least a couple gods of some kind out there, but I've never cared enough to look into it.
Why don't we enlist their help?
Because they'd be just as likely to go, well, no, die, as to actually help. And there would also be a problem of tracking them down.
Oh, that would probably be hard, yeah.
Because, like, these things don't, like, just apply constantly to anything that anybody thinks could be spooky. It's just as much like a roulette wheel as anything else. Except it's more like, I think some Pershing Foundation papers I looked at said that it's like 1 in 50 chances, but those guys don't know what they're talking about, so.
And you do?
Better than them, because I'm living it, and they're just a bunch of, like, armchair supernatural studiers just sitting back in their office buildings and going, la-di-da, what if I looked at that? What if I did that? I'm gonna shove everything into boxes. Of these, like, I mean, for like every 15 places that people say are haunted, only one of them is going to actually, be haunted. And even then it'll be just as likely to be, like, the walls just scream sometimes, as it is an actual, like, ghost or something. Again, I don't really know how the vast majority of, like, the specifics work. I just know the broad overall of it and the forest. Anyway, I don't know how we got so sidetracked, but that wasn't what I was here to discuss. Especially since, like, I assume that you remember me going radio silent for a couple days in there.
Yeah, all the time.
Well, that was because I went down to Tennessee, specifically Kingsport, and I got this.
Drugs? Is it ketamine? Please tell me it's ketamine.
No, Stampiner pills.
Shit, why didn't you give me ketamine?
You ungrateful little brat. Don't...
I got nothing out of that. Bro, couldn't you at least got me one of the fun ones?
What do you mean the fun ones?
Like literally anything else. One of the fun ones.
Give me that. You don't get those. You lost your privileges. Look. You see those? I don't know why I did that. That was a stupid thing to do, and now I'm gonna have to put them back in. But it felt like dramatic and correct. Stop trying to take the. Do you not remember what happened the last time?
No, I don't remember. That's the problem.
Right. I don't know why I put these on the table.
I don't know why
it just felt dramatic and appropriate, and now I feel like an idiot having to pick all of these things back up and put them back in.
Yeah.
Okay, look. I went Kingsport, Tennessee. That's where it turns out that these are made. I had to talk to people to figure it out, so you know that this was horrible for me. But
social interaction, your favorite.
The travel wasn't actually the problem. The routes don't go down that far, but I-81 does. So,
okay.
Anyway, took me a bit to be able to, get my hands on extra for you, but I also went and talked to the person that makes these things. It turns out it's just one lady in her basement doing it out of the goodness of her heart. And, she figured out how to metagame it correctly. Because, she used to work out of Boston, right? But, pretty much everybody in America has at least heard of Boston and is aware that it exists, right? Maybe not everybody in the world, but most people in America have, and at least they know, Boston Tea Party and whatnot. But Kingsport, Tennessee, who knows that exists outside of, people in that general region? So she picked it specifically because people hear Kingsport, and they're going to immediately think king and port. And so now she basically managed to turn it into a perfect center for her to be able to send these things out all across the country. And the fact that it's sitting at the tail end of I-81 helps also. But getting off topic, I specifically spoke to her about, I couldn't tell her everything about the situation, obviously, but they only took your memory because in the moment, I thought that they were going to. That was the whole point of me,
So they're controlled as much by thought as they are what they innately are.
That's how all of this works. It's as much what you expect things to be as what they are. And if you see one thing and you interpret it wrong, then that... Anyway, that was the thing. In the moment, I was panicking, and the laser-guided executive dysfunction is what makes these things so functional. But in the moment, I was just thinking about the brain fog and desperately hoping maybe if I gave you enough, that would translate over into amnesia. And it shouldn't have, but I didn't know that, and you sure as hell didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, it did. That being said, it's never... Dampener pills are a young enough thing that she genuinely has no idea. This kind of thing is unprecedented, but she figures it's probably 50-50 whether you get those memories back at some point eventually, or they're gone forever. She did point out that given the forest's weird thing with the number 23, that if you do regain it, it's probably going to be either at some point that is 23 X period of time after the point that I made you take them, or a multiple of 23.
That's weird.
Yeah.
23 is such a random number.
But it's exactly how this shit works.
But who looks at a force and goes, 23.
Exactly.
23.
It's as much random... Can you stop with the cartoonish laughter and let me talk?
Yes.
Are you going to?
Yeah. No.
I'm going to pick up this whatever the hell you call this piece of cloth thing and hit you in the face with it.
I honestly don't know what it is. I think it's like a tablecloth, but for people who are too poor to have an actual tablecloth.
And that tracks.
Or maybe it's if you have a actually nice table, not one that's dinged up and scarred by age.
Look, I think that this thing was dinged up even when it was, given to our parents as a hand-me-down.
Perhaps.
I mean, Aunt Madeline was basically just trying to ditch all her shit before she moved off to Toronto.
Mm.
Why couldn't we have moved to Toronto?
Because we didn't, and now we're here.
Yeah. Now we're here. Anyway, I think that's basically everything that I needed to, like, tell you. She said that it's probably okay for you to use them, because it's unlikely that there's going to be some, like, amnesiac relapse triggered, as long as I specifically told you that the amnesia was something that was not supposed to happen, and only happened because I thought that it could in the moment. So, but that being said, it's more of a, like, you don't take these every day. You only take these in, like, extreme cases of, yeah, I definitely do need this. You got that?
Question: what happens if I take it, get amnesia, forget that I took it, and then take it again?
Then I guess I use what I can recover from the videos on your channel and use that to... Actually, no, I would just, like... That would probably be the ideal, actually. Because then you'd be out of this permanently.
Maybe.
But
are you gonna dump it on the table again?
No. But you said it yourself. You said yourself that you wanted to be a part of this now. And
I feel like I should be.
the Force already decided that you're its hermit. So I don't think that I would be able to permanently get you out of it. That's not something to be proud of.
It's more like a way up.
Anyway, basic rules apply. You don't do more than 1 an hour. Or nasty things are going to happen. Their effects last for around 6 to 12 hours, depends on the person. And basically all of the other stuff that applies with taking prescription drugs. Except these obviously are not a prescription.
Is this illegal?
Kid, what the fuck about any of this seems legal to you? There aren't even any laws concerning supernatural shit like this. I don't know. I'm leaving that with you, and again, only, like, circumstances wherein you genuinely think that you need those. Like, survival situations. Or just that then, like... I mean, I guess that you can use them in terms of, like, I want to be able to go to school and not think about this, or I want to be able to have a day where I don't have to think about this, but, like, don't overdo it and don't make a habit of it. That's the main reason why I'm not giving you, like, a full jar of them. Bottle. I don't know what the word for these pill bottle things is.
I think that's the word.
Alright, then I got a second try. That's everything that I had to say. I'm gonna be heading out. You do, I guess, whatever it is that you decide to.
Enjoy getting rained on, loser.
I'm gonna route travel, dipshit. Hang on. Shoes?
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Alright, route travel time.
What a bitch.